There's a reason Take 5 is one of the most recognizable jazz tunes of all time. Even if you don't listen to any jazz and even if you don't know any theory, and it's a bop. And what's crazy is that on paper, it really shouldn't be. It's in 5/4, it avoids resolutions for long stretches of time, and the melody doesn't really behave the same way that most popular melodies do. So why does it feel so natural? Why does it groove so hard? And how do we jam on it? Today, I want to break down why Take 5 is such a bop and show you how rhythm, harmony, and melody combine to make one of the greatest jazz jams out there. Now, let's dive into the sheet music and see what we can figure out. So, here we are with the sheet music, and one of the things that first stands out to me is the fact that this tune is in 5/4. Now, if you studied the real book for any amount of time, I think you'll notice that songs that are 5/4 in the real book are exceedingly rare. In fact, I personally can't recall if there's another song in the real book that's 5/4 or some other weird metric that isn't 4/4 or 3/4. And the great thing about it is that this metric, this subdivision, really gives the song weight and it gives structure to the rhythm. It has a sort of clave or rhythmic accents and like a specific division to the meters. And in the case of Take 5, that'll be 3/2. So the way the rhythm is divided in this song is 1 2 3 1 2, and this is super important. It lets the song breathe. It gives the rhythm a sense of composure and space, which is really cool, and it just gives it a vibe. Now, when you're trying to improvise or jam on this song, it's really important to be aware of this because the rhythm that you use in your improvisation should be guided by this metric subdivision. That can sound something like this. I'm going to use the first A section of this song to demonstrate how to use rhythm to improvise and play on the song. The important part is that if the bar is divided in 3 and 2, then you have a bit more space to play around in 3, but in 2, it's a bit more rigid. So you do 1 2 3 1 2, and that final 1 2, you fall on those beats in your improv. That will make it sound way more cohesive and intentional. So going back to the sheet music over here, another thing that's really important and that I love about this song is that there is contrast in the harmony. Okay, so this song has a common form or structure that will be ABA, and the way that looks on the sheet music is like this. When you start the melody, that'll be the A, and once we go to this right here, that'll be the B section. Then over here, we go back to the A section. Now, this is super important because Paul Desmond uses each section in the form to create contrast in the song and how it's going on. So if you notice in the A section is mostly just a pedal. It's mostly going on E flat minor. So this thing it's doing over here, that's pretty much what's doing the entirety of that A section, which is the. This makes that section sound a bit ambiguous and kind of lingers in that vibe, which emotionally and for the mood of the song creates a sort of ambience, if you will, and it creates a space where you can just and do whatever you want, and you can totally reflect this in your improvisation. So now I'm going to try to demonstrate how you can use different kinds of scales and sounds in that first A section, which gives us so much space to kind of do whatever we want. I'll look like this. First off, I'm going to try to use the E flat minor scale, just a regular E minor scale, to see how it sounds. But since this section, this A section, is just a pedal point, we can use any one of the minor scale variants of E flat. So we can do the E flat minor natural scale like we did right now. But another one that really fits perfectly for that vibe is the E flat minor harmonic scale. And that'll sound like this. top of that, of course, pentatonic scale works great, including its blues variant, the E flat minor blues pentatonic scale. And really, you can use that to rip all over the form on this song, and it sounds really cool. That'll sound like this. Sounds super cool. For me, the best result here is to combine scales. Maybe you start off doing the natural minor scale, then you bounce around and flirt a bit with the minor harmonic scale, and then you can really shred with some pentatonic runs. Experiment with those scales and see which one you like best and how you can combine them. But now moving on to the B section, it gets a bit more interesting because we have very melodic chords here. Creates movement because the chords have a downward linear movement, which makes it sound very different than the pedal point that we had in the A section. And that'll sound like this. Now that B section is a really great opportunity to get more melodic and really outline the chords a bit more when you're shredding and improvising, and really make your solo rise in a way. And really using the same E flat minor or G flat major diatonic scale works really great for this. And that can sound something like this. Now, the cool thing about this song is that you're not really changing keys or anything like that. So everything that we talked about for the first section applies for the B section too. And you can totally shred with the pentatonic scale, with the blues scales in there, even the minor harmonic scale. And that can sound a little something like this. Now, the other thing that really makes this song a complete bop is the fact that the melody is bluesy without the song actually being a blues. This song does not use the blues form in any way, shape, or form, but it has the spirit of blues by using that natural A note in the melody. Now, in contrast to that, the B section uses a lot of chromaticism in between and really outlines the chords that we're listening to in that part. This B section melody is a real masterclass in how to outline chords in whatever you're doing, how to move and connect one chord to the next. So in that B section, we're starting on the 4 chord, which is C flat major 7. And if we look here real closely, this is the 3rd. The melody starts on that section on the 3rd of C flat major 7, which would be E flat. Then goes to the 5th, then the 3rd again, then to the tonic, which is C flat. And this pattern is key because we'll see over here too. D flat, which is the 3rd of B flat minor 7, then F natural, which is the 5th, the 3rd again, then the tonic, which is the same pattern repeating again. We're connecting it through chromaticism. And the same pattern kind of goes around in that section. And the same thing here, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, tonic, chromaticism. And then here we use chromaticism to connect to the 5th. And then chromaticism again to go back to the 3rd. And this is where the genius lies of this melody. It's a blend of outlining chords and then using chromaticism to connect to the next series of chord tones, which is just brilliant. And it's a big contrast from the A section, which is really more minor and almost pentatonic based. So when you zoom out, Take 5 really works because everything is doing a very specific job to accomplish a very specific mood. The rhythm is unusual, but it breathes. It has space. The harmony stays constrained in the A section and then opens up in the B section. So contrast actually matters. And the melody is simple, bluesy, and memorable without being predictable. And this is something I really want to emphasize here. Music doesn't need to be complex to be interesting. but it does need intention. When rhythm, melody, and harmony each have their own role, you can break rules and still sound very natural. And Take 5 manages to do this beautifully and artfully. And it's a true example of how to do that in music. Now, if this kind of breakdown helped you see the music in a new, different light, I invite you to check out my free guide called 3 Steps to Fretboard Mastery. It's all about connecting what you hear to what you see on the fretboard without drowning in theory, so that you can express yourself better on guitar, which is what we all want at the end of the day. You can grab that below in the description and start applying this right away in under 10 minutes. Now I want to know, what's a song that breaks the rules, but it still just works perfectly for you? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, keep practicing.